And look, sir, they're just letting you know you're being face scanned. You were always being face scanned. Face scanning cameras have been in for 20 years. DARPA put them in. License plate readers have been in for at least 20 years. Now, off the license plate reader, then the ground-based camera can identify off your license plate that that's Joe Smith getting out of his car. Then they get a heat resonance scan off your face. That's now uploaded. They get a overview shot to your heat resonance, and then with satellites, they can track your heat resonance. I mean, sir, it's so Buck Rogers. That's why the head of Google is out there saying, yeah, we watch everything you do. You know, that's why Yahoo is openly announcing that they just give everything to the feds, no warrants. The local police can get everything they want, no warrants. It's just a lawless criminal government. Bloomberg's reporting that Goldman Sachs is arming itself with weapons against the public. They know they've robbed us blind. They know they're illegitimate, just like Stalin and Hitler and Mao armed against the people, and they want our guns. And, I mean, did the military at Fort Hood wake up when the MIAC and Homeland Security report came out saying the #1 threat to America is veterans?
I've always been a pretty big advocate of the Constitution, and I pass out pocket constitutions to my soldiers, and I regularly quiz them on what we're held by by law and by our God to hold up, and that is the Constitution of the United States of America, and that is to protect the people. So there are lawful orders that we are uphold to protect and support, but at the same time, we have a right to defend that document over unlawful orders.
Amen to that, my friend. I appreciate your call, Jim. How many soldiers are waking up out there on the base?
How many soldiers? I'm in a smaller unit, so I couldn't really be specific on that, but you see a lot less of the George Bush stickers. Obviously, he's out of office, but and on all that, you don't see the neoconservative banner like you did before. And obviously, with the new administration, you see a lot. I'm trying to not be specific on certain things, not to put myself in any sort of trouble, but you see a lot of change, and everybody's waking up out here, Alex. So the troops are aware of the New World Order? Absolutely. Well, we've been there's a lot of stuff that I'd love to say, but I don't want to paint myself into. Are the troops suspicious of the shooting out there? Well, Alex, let me just comment on that real briefly. I had a good friend of mine, a fellow non-commissioned officer. He was there, and he was actually helping with the wounded soldiers and getting them to the ambulances and holding the IVs and whatnot. And he said to me that he saw the shooter on the ground. Now, this could be just attributed to all the adrenaline rush, but, most of us have felt it before in warfare. But he said he saw the shooter on the ground, disarmed, shot several times, and he still heard gunfire. So, now whether that's true or not, I'm not. Well, no, that's what all the reports are from Hood, and it turns out they knew everything he was doing. He thought he was emailing Al-Qaeda. He was, Al-Qaeda. He was emailing the CIA, posing as Al-Qaeda. He was being protected. They used that imam who's the honeypot for all these synthetic Al-Qaeda they've got. They do find mentally ill people like him, and they protected him. And Congress has asked Homeland Security and the Pentagon for that data, and they've declared national security on it. So bare minimum, it's like the first World Trade Center bombing, where their own informant said, they told me cook the bomb, train the drivers. Then we were supposed to bust them, but they said, no, let the bombing go forward. And so bare minimum, this was a provocateur action. I mean, no one else would be allowed to be running around the base. And when he was in medical school saying, I love suicide bombers, anybody else said that, they'd have been out in 10 seconds. He was protected the entire time and allowed to do this. And it's disgusting. On that, but my heart goes out to all those that were shot and all the families that were affected. But it does seem a little odd to us, to some of us. But once again, there's not a whole lot. Yeah, well, most of my family are former military, and they all just said,
and a lot of them don't even agree with me politically. They go, something's going on. That's a bunch of bull. I mean, anybody who knows, has got their head screwed on, knows a staged event when you see it. God bless you, and I appreciate your call, Jim. We don't know exactly what happened, but it stinks to high heaven, doesn't it? Stinks to high heaven. Let's play Von Rumpi. Now, there's so many. I could play the UN head, Ban Ki-moon. I can play Al Gore, saying Copenhagen is the heart of world government for global governance, and this is the year of world government. Now, if you talk about this, though, Homeland Security, the ADL, and everybody else are going to say you're wearing Nazi underwear. What does this have to do with Nazis? Only that Hitler wanted a European Union. So I guess those that want a global union are actually for Hitler. But doesn't matter. You're wearing swastika underwear if you play this clip. Here's the head of the EU 2 weeks ago.
2009 is also the first year of global governance with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis. The climate conference in Copenhagen is another step towards the global management of our planet. Our mission, our presidency, is one of hope, supported by acts and by deeds.
Okay. Now, I'm going to continue into the next hour with what's happening in Copenhagen and your phone calls, but let's go to Al Gore. Lord Gore, as we go to break, talking about global governance. Here it is.
I bring you good news from the United States. Within 1 month of taking office, President Obama secured $80 billion U.S. for renewable energy and green infrastructure. And then just 2 weeks ago, the House of Representatives passed the Waxman-Markey bill, which, for all of its flaws...
We're going to come back with this global governance comment.
Hello.